Hi. Okay, real quick, we're back with our second video. First one's not doing so well, but that's okay. Please like and subscribe if you see anything you like. If you want to hear any more content from me, let me know. So I want to make a quick video and talk about something that I get asked most when I'm starting to talk to friends of mine or other people about watches who aren't really into watches. They see them on Instagram, or they may like something they pass by in a store. The question they always ask me is, well, what should I get? And I always say, buy what you like. But it took me a long time to find my style. I probably went through 200 watches maybe, buying and selling them. Most of them were lower end. $100, $200 watches that I was able to resell and not lose any money on. But how to find your style. So this is how I found mine. I knew that I always liked Omega. I bought a Bulova moon watch, and very quickly found out that I wanted the Speedmaster Professional. I also wanted the older model Speedmaster Professional. I'm lucky enough to where I have a large community of vintage watch dealers here in New York City that have not only taught me, but I can also buy from them, and they're trusted because anytime there's an issue, I bring it back and they fix it. But how to find your style? I was recently asked the question, what do I buy? A friend of mine has a professional job, wears like an Apple Watch, and I've just made mention to him that, hey, maybe you should be wearing something a little bit more stylish that speaks to your clients a little bit better. And of course, the one watch that always comes up is like, well, Rolex. Yeah, buy a Rolex if you like a Rolex. If you like Omega, buy an Omega. But how to find your style? So there's a lot of style of watches that I really love. Skin divers, vintage skin divers from the 1960s, chronographs, of course, manual wind. This is what I like. I'm also in love with the Omega Speedmasters. I have an Omega Flight Master. I used to have, which I regret selling, an Omega Mark III Speedmaster Professional. So I would buy watches, I would put them on my wrist, I would not love them, and I would get rid of them. Some watches I would just love to look at them. I would put them on my wrist, and a week later it was it was like a bad relationship. It's, why did I buy you? I had a Valjoux 23 Wachmann Big Boy, which is a great watch. I love it. I still love to look at pictures of it. I don't like to wear it. Now, there are some criteria that I have for me personally for watches. One is it has to be a manually wound watch. Two, it's got to be a chronograph. And three, it's got to be old. I do have some newer ones. This one here is my Seagull ST 1901. It's a manual wound chronograph based on the Lamania 175, I believe. I'm sorry, the Venus 175. This is a newer watch. It's a couple $100. I do construction. It's a beautiful watch. I could have went out and bought a quartz watch, a fashion watch, but why am I going to do that? This is very unique. There's maybe one or two watches on the market that look like it, but for me, this suits what I need. And if I decide I want to spend a few $1,000s later on the exact same watch because it has a different name, maybe I'll do so. But those are my criteria. I always recommend buying a mechanical watch, whether it's automatic or hand wound. Quartz watches, they're not for me. They were when I first started collecting, when I had 20 cheap quartz watches, and they were great. But once I got into the culture, I became snobbish about the quartz. There are exceptions to every rule. I do own some automatics. I am in the market for a quartz watch. Omega Speedmaster X33. If I were to own a quartz, is one of them. Maybe a Breitling Emergency. But finding your style. So you really just have to look at a watch and make sure it speaks to you. And also, you don't want to wear a huge dive watch with a business suit. I mean, it might just be kind of tacky. At the same token, you also don't want to try to be sporty with a nice slimline Milgauss. But again, if that's what you like, that's what you like. I also have difficulty pairing straps and bracelets with watches. I buy a ton of straps for my watches, and I change them constantly because it changes the look of the watch. I even order some bracelets custom made for some watches. I like the pilot style bands. This one here I have on this watch here is made by a company out of Germany called D Model. It's called the Tornado. It's a great pilot band. I just want to show you how it operates. You know, it unbuckles. You know, the watch won't fall off your wrist. You know, you can get watch straps for about $10 on eBay. This one here is probably about $100, I think I paid for it. And I have them in different sizes. I have the 22 millimeter and the 18 millimeter version. They're very comfortable. I enjoy wearing them. When to wear and what to wear, depending on what you're doing. I mean, you don't want to go to a wedding like me and you know, wear your Speedmaster unless that's the watch that you love. You know, some people like to wear their dressiest watch, their thinnest watch that goes under their shirt. You know, other people have to have the biggest, loudest watch in the room. Again, you're going to find your style and you're going to find what you're comfortable with. And for me, when I look at a watch and I look at the dial, this is what really grabs me about a watch. It's the depth, the functionality. It's not even so much the legibility. I have Omega Speedmaster Broad Arrow, the reissue from the early 2000s, and it's not really that legible, but I love the look of the watch, especially on a brown leather strap. Let's see, what other notes do we have here? Not connecting and falling out of love with a watch. Again, I'm guilty of this, over 200 watches. eBay's a great marketplace for selling and buying watches. Sometimes I'll buy a cheaper watch, $20, $30, $50 from China, just to see if I like the style on my wrist. And sometimes I actually keep the watch and I actually wear them. I have a couple of pilot watches that cost me about 30 or 40 bucks that I won on auction. And I wear them every now and again. They're sterile dials, no date, beautiful watches. And this is the style of watch that I like. I don't really have, I have one diver watch, one automatic diver. I like them, but these are not really my my cup of tea. Now, full disclosure, I don't go diving, I don't fly planes, I just like pilot watches. I like the history and the story behind space watches. I have the Sturmansky, a couple of Speedmasters, I have a Flightmaster, which I'll show you in a video soon enough. I've probably had 4 or 5 Seiko Pogues, the 6139 6002s, and I'm looking at another one. I buy them, I wear them, I'm like, and I get rid of them. But I really like them. And so I've kind of found my niche in the space watches. And in the future, that's where my focus is going, in collecting is going to be on, is watches that have been to outer space or have some kind of aviation historical significance. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. If you have any suggestions, if you'd like to ask any questions, please leave them in the comments. Thanks.